Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harvey Miller and welcome to our course on business statistics. I have prepared a short video to give you a quick overview of the course and the expectations, and I strongly urge that you watch the video so that you know what to expect when classes resume. Statistics, as you well know, is a very important course because it serves so many different courses that you will be taking in the future, particularly in areas like marketing, finance, and so forth, and even economics. So it's extremely important that you just get a sense of what we expect in this class and how this class may differ from previous classes that you've taken. We have three instructors who will be teaching, I believe it is a total of 6 sections of this course. I have 2 sections, which are sections C and D. While the material that we intend to cover is the same across all of the sections, we do have some slight differences in terms of how we will approach our courses. And so I prepared this video specifically for my 2 sections, which is section C and D. You're expected to read the course outline, but there are some highlights that I want to bring to your attention. So first and foremost, I want to bring to you the textbook. The textbook is a different textbook from the one last year. And often people would ask me, can I use last year's textbook? Yes, in the sense of the material, but we will be engaging with the course in a way that requires that you have the current textbook. There is a platform called MindTap that is associated with our text that I believe will provide a powerful support for your learning. And so as a result, having the textbook is an asset in the way in which I intend to approach the course. If you don't have the textbook, then you won't have the access code to the materials, supplemental materials available to students. All right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is how we will evaluate the course. Let me just go over to here. We have assignments. We have a total of 5 assignments, but 4 will be graded. The very last assignment will be like a practice assignment. The 4 will be graded for a total of 15%, so each assignment is worth approximately 3.75%. We're going to have 2 online interim tests. Normally you have a midterm, but we're going to split that into 2 15% each, and they will be scheduled in the first third of the course and the second third of the course. So we have those 2 tests, and then of course we have a final exam with 55%. Now I didn't mention this part, which is student engagement. In my classes, one of the things that I want to do is I want to use an approach called blended learning. And in blended learning, I want you to engage with some of the material online. So MindTap is the vehicle for facilitating that for us. Also, I want to use an approach called flipping the classroom, where you are expected to prepare before coming to class by watching the video lectures. In other words, the lecture that I would have given in class, you now have the opportunity to watch that lecture before coming to class. So when we come to class, we will use the time that I have with you to engage in problem solving, a deeper level of understanding, asking questions, getting concepts clarified, and giving you an opportunity for you to engage with the material at a deeper level. In the traditional model where you just took notes in the classroom and went home and struggled on your own, that approach does not really encourage students to fully engage with the material. But with the flipped classroom concept, if you spend the time preparing ahead of class, you will find the classroom experience a lot more rewarding. Okay? So to reward you for engaging, I have assigned a total of 15%, which I call student engagement. Now that 15% is essentially a variable that will impact your final, or the value of your final mark. So let's say you engage with the course in such a way that you were able to get a total of 15% for student engagement. Your final exam is now worth 40%. If you only got 10%, your final exam is worth 45%. If you got 0%, then your final exam is worth 55%. So there's an incentive for you to lower the value of your final exam. All right, so that's one. So what does it mean in terms of student engagement? Well, once you've watched the video lectures, There are short quizzes, and you will have multiple opportunities to do them multiple times. In other words, 2 or 3 times, you will have a chance to take the quiz over again. And then, in other words, really giving you a chance to test your learning and your understanding before coming to classes. All right. So the more you do those quizzes, the better it is in terms of your understanding, and as well, you give yourself a chance to lower the value of your final mark. All right. So I want you to pay very close attention to that. I will prepare a separate short video on flipping the classroom. Our standard sort of grade assignment is right here. You can see that. So in terms of the teaching approach, as I've already mentioned, I will use blended learning and a bit of flipping the classroom, where I will flip some of the lectures or some of the topics in that you will prepare outside before coming to class. Now, Cengage MindTap is the software platform that is rich with a number of apps that will enable you to do a lot better in the class if you actually engage with the material. It has the textbook in e-format. It has practice questions, flashcards, note sections that you could create your own notes and highlights, and all of your highlights are put in one location. It has quizzes on the entire chapter or quizzes just on sections. It also has short videos to explain a particular problem, a practice problem. And then, of course, it provides some solutions to some assignment problems, etc. And then it also allows me as the instructor to include additional material. If I did a tutorial on a particular topic, I could actually upload a tutorial in MindTap. You'd have access to it right there. I have actually a number of video lectures on YouTube. And what I will be doing is putting the links to these lectures into MindTap. So all you have to do is to go into MindTap, click on the link, and the YouTube video will open up in a separate window. All right. Now, we have Blackboard, which we've used in the past. The school is migrating to Dare to Learn, which is D2L, Brightspace. But for this fall, we will be sticking with Blackboard. And we will use Blackboard only to administer the 2 interim tests and to keep a record of your marks, okay? So with the 2 interim tests and a record of your marks, that's what we'll use Blackboard for, but for the majority of the time, you'll be engaging with Cengage MindTap. Now, in the past 2 years or 3 years, I've used Facebook groups as a way of creating a learning community for the class, where students could pose questions of each other, provide some support, answer questions, and so on. And it has worked very, very well. Now, I know we don't want to have Blackboard, Facebook, and MindTap. MindTap actually provides a similar, has an app called ConnectYard, which in essence is a social media platform, kind of like a group where you could have chat and exchanges and questions. So much what you would do in Facebook, that Facebook group, you can do it in ConnectYard. But the difference is that Facebook will push notices to you. MindTap ConnectYard will not necessarily push. I don't think it actually pushes notices to you. So I think that is an important value that, or an important feature, sorry, that we won't get if we just decide to go with ConnectYard in MindTap. So depending on your response, I will decide which way we will go. But for now, we will start off with a Facebook group. And because you don't have to actually create one, most of you have Facebook accounts. Okay? YouTube has lots of lectures, Khan Academy, but also this is where my lectures are. You won't have to go to YouTube directly. I will just simply include the links to the lectures in MindTap, and so that way you could access it right there. In addition to that, we have the typical academic policies around academic integrity, cheating, plagiarism, late assignments. I want you to spend some time looking at all of those, okay? The use of computers, for our course, we'll use Excel as a way of solving some statistical problems. In terms of course content, some of you are familiar with the P drive. We will not be using the P drive in this course. Teaching and technology, so in the classroom, I've already mentioned that we're going to be using MindTap. We have YouTube, as well, where I have video lectures, Facebook groups. In the class, sometimes I use something called Poll Everywhere, which is a piece of online software that allows me to do a quick poll where I prepare a couple of short answer true or false questions or multiple choice and test your understanding. And if I see a lot of wrong answers being given, then it sort of helps me decide quickly, should I spend a bit more time on a particular topic. Cell phone use in a class, of course, you're not allowed to actually be on your phone during a class time. If you have an emergency call, just step outside and take the call. We don't want to see cell phones under your desk sending messages at all either. However, we will be using cell phones during some aspects of the course, particularly in participating with Poll Everywhere. We will use the cell phone as well. Okay? And we have code of conduct. We expect students to behave in a respectful manner, come to classes on time, attend classes, etc. And your equation sheet, we'll be given an equation sheet that is prepared ahead of time that you should carry to class so that we could refer to it. It helps you become familiar with it so that during an exam you won't have too much difficulty using it. You could see all of the weeks have been scheduled, so the actual topics. And so all of those topics are scheduled week by week in MindTap as well. The outcomes that we want to accomplish with respect to each of these. And then before class, the things that I expect you to do. In class, I have sort of just pre-selected some problems that we will refer to and attempt to work during class time. And remember, I want to make class time much more active, much more engaging, so we will spend more time solving problems during the class. So it's very important that you have a textbook. If you do have just your your iPad, I believe that since you have access to the ebook, you may very well be able to access the questions via your iPad. But you are expected to have access to those questions. Either you could photocopy them if you don't want to carry your entire book to class and bring them to class, or you bring the book and follow from there. Okay, so everything is actually scheduled in the course outline. I should mention that the very first online quiz is going to take place October, and that's my red line right here, October 12th. Sorry, no, the wrong one, the blue line. October 16th to 18th. So the way in which I will run the quiz is that from midnight on that Friday night, you will have access to the quiz, and you have until Sunday to answer the quiz. So anytime between there you could start it, but once you start, the clock ticks and your 75 minutes is actually counted. All right? So the exam can be done online at home. I will actually prepare a separate video on the online quizzes. And the second one will be held November 13th to the 15th. And so, again, same situation where the exam will be made accessible from midnight on Friday night to midnight on Sunday night. Okay? And the final exam will be scheduled, of course, by the registrar's office. So if you have any questions, please fire me an email at harvey.millar@smu.ca, and I will try to respond to it. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in class on Thursday. So please watch this video before Thursday and make sure that you have your textbook and that you're familiar with the course outline. See you soon.